Welcome back, everyone. Next up, we have Pacific Bay Minerals. It trades on the OTC Pink sheets under the symbol PBMFF and on the TSXV under the symbol PBM, and is a Canadian mineral exploration company engaged in the acquisition, exploration, and development of mining projects. Pacific Bay Minerals is focused on advancing its flagship project, Atlin Goldfields, located in Atlin, British Columbia, with a 56,000 hectare package of mineral tenures. The company also holds 100% interest in 3 mineral properties located in British Columbia: the Wheaton Creek Gold, Haskins Reed, and Weaver Gold. Please welcome its president, CEO, and director, Reagan Glazier. Nice to see you on our conference today, Reagan.
Hi, thank you, Anna. Nice to meet you.
All right, the floor is yours. Call me back when you're ready for questions.
Sounds good. Thank you. So welcome, everybody. I just wanted to, first of all, thank everybody for coming today, taking time out of their busy schedules, lives, and whatnot. I know everything is a little bit more crazy and hectic, but I really do appreciate it. It's a pleasure to present to all of you guys. My name is Reagan Glazier. I am the CEO and president of Pacific Bay Minerals, and I've just been involved with this company for several months now, and we're just getting rolling on this Atlin Goldfields project. It's a really exciting opportunity that I am quite pumped to be presenting to you guys and just sharing the story in general to everybody, because it's been a camp that's, had a lot of attention garnished to it, and then looked beyond to other things. So today we'll be going through just the general stuff that's going on, and then if there's any more questions, comments, concerns, my contact information is at the end of the slides, so you guys are more than welcome to please reach out to me. The standard forward-looking statement, cautionary, this is available on our website if you guys want to read it. So in general, Atlin features a vast corridor of bonanza-grade gold mineralization and remains to be explored at both district and regional scales. In this photo, we see our camp situated on top of the placer mining tailings. Up the valley to the left is Stuhaney Exploration. To the right, Garibaldi, who just finished their drill program last month. So lots of activity in this region looking for orogenic gold systems. And I think we're situated with a really nice mineral package, poised for some rapid growth potential. Just to talk about our leadership, I myself, Reagan, I've been a geologist for over a dozen years now. I grew up in Prince George, BC, and I've been working in the Stikine and Toodoggone regions for the last decade. The Golden Triangle or Horseshoe, depending on who you're talking to, semantics-wise. We have on our board of directors David Brett, CEO of Angold, Cameron McDonald. He's based out of Calgary. He has a lot of experience from raising capital for natural resource, oil and gas, mining commodities. Leah Brett, our CFO, she's been involved with the company for a long time, keeping everything together. Antonio Vespa, another director, engineer out of Calgary, and Frank Moyle, a geologist who's been involved with Pacific Bay for quite some time, has a breadth of knowledge on all the other properties that are within the PBM or Pac Bay portfolio. Capital structure, only 26 million shares outstanding, fully diluted 34, and we're currently trading at about 6.5 cents. So just under $2 million market cap. We might have the award of the smallest market cap out of anybody presenting today, other than maybe the private guy or the private line guys at the start. So highlights, not to blast you with a wall of text, I'll get through this. District scale gold property, 58,000 hectares. We've got the orogenic high-grade YELLOWJACKET deposit, along with several other prospects, LD, Union, PIC2, and Imperial. All more orogenic gold targets featuring some great geochem and rock samples results running in the multi-ounce stage. On our YELLOWJACKET deposit, we've got a 22-person camp. I just trekked through some snow last month on the property to check it out. It's in great shape, and it should provide us a quick and efficient startup, which is always nice going into the season. Excellent infrastructure. There's a year-round maintained road right to the deposit. We've got an airstrip in Atlin should we need it, and we have a run-of-river hydroelectric project that is adjacent to the property with excess capacity in the summer that we are eyeing up should we go into production down the road. Top tier mining jurisdiction, dozens of placer miners seasonally active there on our claims. And the placer mining in itself is quite infamous. The largest nugget in Canada was discovered there in 1899, 85 troy ounces, and lots and lots of more nuggets of similar sizes have been uncovered over the years. I don't think we really get the scoop on really what comes out of those creeks nowadays because it's a little bit more hush-hush and secret, but I think that's with respect as well. 2006, 2007, they applied and received a mining permit. So we actually have an active mining permit, 75,000 tons per year. And then again, situated with the hydroelectric project next door, we're also looking at the ultramafic tailings that might be produced from any possible mining activities as a possible carbon capture system, which may present us with a unique opportunity to be a carbon neutral gold mine. Currently, there are some alkali flats close by that the University of British Columbia is studying on possible carbon capture systems. So lots of really exciting things happening in the area. More on the area, we're 2 hours south of Whitehorse on a paved road. The claim itself is only 9 kilometers down a gravel road from the town of Atlin, population roughly 500 people. The port of Skagway, again, connects through Whitehorse, about 250 kilometers away, connecting to the Pacific Ocean. Cordillera, this is just an overview of the general BC terrains, geology maps, and just kind of common deposits of what's going on, starting in the south. Braylorn, another orogenic gold system. They've produced over 4.2 million ounces at an average grade of 17.7 grams per ton. I believe the deepest mining workings there go down to 900 meters depth, but they have known mineralization down to 2,000 meters that Talisker Resources is currently working on. In the Caribou, Osisko Metals owns the Barkerville deposit, 3.2 million ounces at over 3 grams per ton. Next door to us, relatively, is Cassiar. They have over 400,000 ounces of produced gold as well, and they're currently expanding their reserves going on that one. We do lie within the Cache Creek terrain, which goes into the south end of Yukon. This area has been quite prolific and quite lucrative for a lot of junior explorers, as this has been known to host a lot of really good style mineralization for us. To a little chart, we see the Braylorn, the Barkerville, and the Atlin areas all having very prolific gold jurisdictions. Placer, recovered and documented mined gold there's a bit of a discrepancy as a lot of placer miners stopped recording their production in 1945. But again, Atlin in itself, sitting with over 1 million ounces of gold placer produced that is documented alone. Very, very good to see in a region that you're exploring for hard rock gold. Finally, onto our properties. Here's us in the yellow Atlin Goldfields. We have the LD, Union, Pictou, Imperial. These are all situated on or nearby producing placer areas, jurisdictions. I've got some more results in the next slide there. But then out to the east, we have the Feather, which is an intrusive related gold. And that's south and connected to the Surprise Lake batholith, which to the north is where Stuhini is situated. They have a large molybdenum porphyry deposit, over 400 million tons. And they're actually actively exploring for gold now as well, with Eric Sprott investing over $1 million in there a couple months ago. More onto our property. We have our LD and Union. A quick blurb on that. Some rock samples, at the LD, 300 grams, 60 grams. There's a kilometer-wide soil anomaly with gold in there, going as high as 700 parts per million. hopefully there has been some trenching activity, but it definitely begs some more attention. Furthermore, the Union, there's been no trenching there, just some rocks and samples, but very promising results, 50 grams, 40 grams, 6 grams in rocks situated on the side of a valley. So really, really exciting stuff and things that we will be incorporating into our regional field program this summer. So here's some quick results on the yellow jacket, why this garnishes so much attention. The big one there, 62 meters of 50 grams per ton, starting at just 11 meters depth. The majority of that is in the top 15 meters of the hole. But as we see at the bottom, 35 to 44, that's 8 meters of 20 grams as well. So we've got some really, really high grade results. But in conjunction with that, we have some longer, broader zones as well. But what this does present to us is a bit of a nugget effect in the deposit itself. So modeling, we have some hurdles to overcome, but I think with some more drilling, we're hoping that we can use a bunch of the core. Some of it needs to get rehabilitated. Maybe we can't use it, but we can use a bunch of our old core and then drill in some additional areas, zones, and possibly try and build up a resource. There is a historic resource on the zone, 133,000 tons at 5.8 grams. It's about 25,000 ounces, but that was done in 2005, mainly just for a bulk sample, so it's not 43-101 compliant. Here's the modeling that was done for this bulk sample. They were kicking tires about possibly doing an underground operation, but they deemed it a little bit too elaborate. Here we see a bunch of zones where they would be falling outside of the grade zones. Lower no grade or misses in the drill results make for modeling a little bit trickier. So yeah, one of the things that we will be targeting are some of these lower grade zones, hopefully intercepting these things and then upgrading the grades in a possible future resource. So in 2019, Brixton Metals flew a high resolution magnetic survey over the Yellow Jacket deposit. The Pine Creek Fault, which seems to be the host of the bulk of the gold mineralization, shows up quite well on this high-res mag, specifically on the contact of the high to low res or the magnetic destruction. So we're going to be targeting that, and then out to the west, we're using that as well to help us trying to find some targets. Recent placer workings have uncovered some more outcrop and has since been mapped and channel sampled. We have the Rock of Ages prospect, the best channel sample there, 51 grams over a 5.2 meter sample. Very high grade, needs to be followed up. And these opportunities, having this type of mineralization at surface or near surface is really exciting for us. We're quite bullish on jumping onto this and getting some more testing done. There's still ongoing placer operations, and we're working with all these guys to get as much information, get as much bedrock exposure as possible, as some of the stuff is buried quite deep and there's no real way of finding it out. So further on this Rock of Ages extension, the average hole depth at Yellow Jacket is only about 130 meters deep. And these orogenic systems are known to go quite deep, like at Braylorn, over 2,000 meters. So we'll be running some IP over the existing deposit, hopefully targeting some deeper stuff that has never been tested before, along with running the IP over the Rock of Ages and then out to the east as well along the Pine Creek Fault to do some more targeting on this. And then in conjunction with that, the Taku River, the First Nations band, who have opened their arms, welcomed us into the community. They've been great to work with. They're expanding their 2 megawatt hydroelectric project up to 9 megawatts. They'll be doing a bunch of geotechnical work, and I'm hoping that we can pull a bunch of information and data and samples from them as well, which would be super awesome. Going back to just a little, some more grades, the bulk sample in 2007, 2008, actually extended into 2009 as well. They wanted to try and see if their models were holding up to the possible grades that they were predicting, as it is a little bit trickier with the nugget effect. And it went surprisingly well. They mined over, or close to 3,000 tons, 2,800 tons. They had an average head grade of 9 grams per ton. So they pulled out close to 1,000 ounces by 2010. Now, this is pretty rudimentary done. I think they spent about $3 million total on the mill complex. And from that, I think they're achieving a recovery in the mid 70%, 75%, say. And while they were hitting, larger pockets and then some dead pockets, a 9 gram average over the bulk of the zone blew their expectations away. And I think that going forward, we can build a lot of ounces using kind of this as a base set. So not too discouraged with some of the lower results, as we know that at the end of the day, it's going to average out with enough drilling, with larger samples and a lot more sampling. I've got a photo. This is the pit excavation. They didn't have to blast anything, which made things a little bit, more affordable, more economical to go in there. They went down 7 meters, 8 meters, and on the top, they actually ended up placer mining close to 200 ounces of gold just in a, kind of like a 600 or 700 yard sample. So the whole area, placer-wise, is still quite rich. And then in the one bench that they did manage to sample, looked really good. They had extended to the east and had planned for another bulk sample, ran out of money because of the 2008 GFC and interest caught, and they moved on to another project. But I think going forward, it's been great because a ton of RC data was taken, a lot of channel sampling was taken, the whole pit has been mapped extensively. So we have a pretty good idea of what's going on geologically in this area. Another photo. Here's the creek diversion that they had to do. We can see the whole area with placer tailings. The creek wasn't so much diverted as it was just put back into place. It was done relatively with ease, as it is a non-fish bearing stream. The plant site in the top left, where the 250-ton stockpiles are situated now, is where our camp sits. And then in the back, we see the year-round maintained road that goes up to Surprise Lake. In hanging out in Atlin, it is one of the coolest places I've been to, had the opportunity to work out of. It's gorgeous, it really is. And working with the First Nations, the Taku River, they've been awesome to us. So we're really committed to collaborating with them and building a better, steadily improving relationship with them. And then working with the people in Atlin, creating social and economic wealth, skills development, just a lot of opportunities back and forth. It's a win-win for everybody in the situation. All the work that we're planning, everything is done with the utmost respect for the environment, best practices, and just consideration for everybody that wants to come and check it out now and in the future. It's very important. Okay, a summary. We're actively doing some 3D imaging on the high-res mag, trying to go down to depth. It seems to be working quite well for us. But we want to further expand the high-res magnetics over the LD and Union prospects, as we do think that there's quite a bit of smoke that we should be chasing down. IP survey over the YELLOWJACKET, and then on the lateral extensions, furthermore at depth, as it is open. hopefully working towards a 43101 compliant resource, all the things that go along with that. Probably re-assaying core, as a lot of it, they weren't doing metallic screening beforehand. So the possibility of missing larger nuggets, not getting those in your assays, possibility of underreporting a lot of these assays. So we'll be doing a lot of work on that, as well as some metallurgical work. Engaging with the local placer miners, trying to get as good of an understanding on the regional scale geology, along with further out, as we do have quite the large land package. There's so much going on, and there's so much information that we could be getting. And that ties in with our regional sampling program. We'll be doing some soiling, as much mapping as possible as allows, weather allowing and everything, smoke, etc. And just trying to target in and prioritize, see what needs to be drilled next. Lastly, engaging with the local communities and First Nations to just build the best relationship possible with everybody there. They've been really great, and really fortunate to have all these guys by our side. So that's kind of it in a wrap. There's my contact information. Again, I just welcome everybody to reach out with any more questions, comments. Thank you very much.
Great job, Reagan. Thank you so much. We do have some questions for you, and we do have a little bit of time. So let's jump right in. Casey Vaughn wants to know, are there any majors producing near you?
Currently, no majors. I think, Cassiar Gold would probably be the largest asset nearby. Currently, they're in the process of doing economic studies, and we'll be moving along, hopefully, with some production. But situated next to us nearby, no.
Okay. And Aura Moreno wants to know, are there any studies you can discuss? And if not, when do you think you'll be able to?
Like as far as economic studies? For the
yes, I would say economic studies or any of the drill studies.
Yeah. The Geological Survey of BC actually in 2017 put out a great paper for us. Eagle Plains in 2011 did a really good 43101. Lots of information on that one. If you reach out, I'm happy to pass that along as well. Just with regards to the geology, there's a very, very well done 43101 that talks about the drilling, all the mapping, and some of the magnetic surveys that have been undertaken in the past. So as far as what I can disclose, I would probably want to run that by my QP again to just firm everything up. But there is quite a bit of information. It's not a total shoot from the hip thing here.
Understandable. We have a question from Mr. Frank. How is the infrastructure around your properties?
Paved road, 2-hour drive from Whitehorse to Atlin, the city of Atlin. The road's open year round. We've got a power line up to about 5 kilometers away from wherever a possible YELLOWJACKET mine would go in, with a bunch of excess power from that hydro project, possibly even more, as they're looking to expand that. The Taki River Inlet is putting $400 million into this hydro project, should it go through. So road access, power line up to 5 kilometers away, and we have the town of Atlin with about 500 people, permanent citizens there, 9 kilometers away from the deposit.
Wow. And Mark T asks, what is a realistic timeline to production?
Yeah, that's a really great question, Mark. I think with a lot of these high grade intercepts, if we can get some stuff near surface, we could kick the idea around with the mining permit in hand already to do some more testing, and then possibly ramp it up as things go or if things get better. I think I would like to get a better understanding of what's at depth so we can economically scale things. We don't go into small or too big, and possibly do an underground ramp, as I think that would probably make the most sense for the Yellowjacket right now. It's about a 20-meter wide shear zone. We can open pit that for so much, but I think we will need 1 or 2, maybe 3 seasons of drilling before we can look at the economics of moving any ground at bare minimum.
And Tom Baker wants to know a little bit more about your background, and have you had any profitable exits in the past?
I've been involved with publicly traded companies, more on the geological field side. I sit on the board of directors of several companies now, Freegold Ventures, Star Peak Mining. Personal wins myself, no, I've bought and sold a couple properties just in my own name, more, I would say, on a hobby level, but have been actively in publicly traded markets for the last 5 years, quite intensely now.
Okay, great. Bruce Wilkins wants to know, what is your burn and what does your balance sheet look like, and how long can you sustain the burn?
Well, currently we're quite low on funds. So we've just recently announced a private placement. We're hoping to raise $500,000 in this first tranche, and then hopefully getting some flow through once we close the first tranche in the second tranche. I think for about 1.5 Canadian dollars. That will hold us off for a full season and then take us into next year in terms of some modeling, some metallurgical work, and some just some office admin stuff. So I think currently right now we're probably sitting around 15,000 Canadian a month in terms of salaries and office and everything. It's quite cheap.
Okay. Christine Kane, do you have a timeline of the drilling and sampling to come?
Hopefully, upon closing of this financing, we can get drilling right away. We actually have a drill rig on site. And like I said previously in the presentation, our camp is pretty much turnkey operation. I think it would be 2 days to get it up and running. We've got local staff in Atlin ready to go to open it up and get everything going. So as soon as we can close our financing, I'm hoping to be going there within the next 2-3 weeks.
Okay. And last question due to time from Sebastian. Do you expect to be drilling the Yellowjacket and Rock of Ages deposits this year? And how much of the budget will be allocated to these deposits?
We'll be drilling both, yes, Yellowjacket and the Rock of Ages. We want to do a little bit of IP to try and better understand the Rock of Ages, target some hopefully broader intercepts of this high-grade mineralization that we've encountered at surface, and looking to pop some holes into the Yellowjacket to confirm some stuff and furthermore expand it out both at depth and laterally. So hoping to spend about $1 to $1.5 million on the drilling. Perfect.
All right. Do you have any closing remarks for us, Reagan?
No, just wanted to again thank everybody for their time. It was a pleasure to be here, and I hope you guys all have a great day.
Wonderful. Thank you. We'd love to have you back in the future with some updates.
Thanks, Anna.
Okay, everyone, stay with us. We'll be right back with our next presenter.